Most men listen to what women say, but few understand what they actually respond to. Because what women want isn't always spoken, it's felt. It shows up in their energy, their attention, their behavior. And if you're only tuned into their words, you'll miss what truly creates desire. This video is about what women are drawn to but rarely verbalize. The things they crave at an emotional level, even if they can't articulate it. And if you can learn to read that layer, not just with your ears but with presence and awareness, you'll move differently. You'll stand out. Attraction isn't a formula. It's not about saying the right thing. It's about embodying certain traits that speak to her subconscious. Strength without arrogance, control without coldness, attention without need. These signals trigger something in her that logic can't explain, but biology recognizes. So let's go deeper than words. Let's get into what women truly want, but never say. The first unspoken desire is masculine certainty. She wants a man who knows who he is, where he's going, and why he moves the way he does. Not because he needs to prove it, but because it's already integrated. Certainty isn't about volume. It's about stillness. You speak less, but when you do, it lands. You move with intent, not approval. You walk into a room and don't need to dominate, but people notice anyway. Women are biologically wired to follow strength, not forceful strength, but directed strength. The man who isn't easily swayed, who doesn't need reassurance, who doesn't flinch when challenged. That energy gives her space to lean into her feminine. It creates polarity. Certainty isn't something you fake. It's something you build through decisions, through boundaries, through repetition. You earn it by becoming consistent with your values, even when it's uncomfortable. That's the first layer. Let's move to the next. The second hidden craving is emotional containment. Not suppression, not avoidance, but control. She wants to feel your emotional weight without being overwhelmed by it. Most men either bottle it up and go cold, or spill everything and drown her in vulnerability. But what she really wants is balance. A man who feels deeply, but doesn't collapse into those feelings. Someone who can hold tension without trying to dump it or fix it too fast. When you show her that you're not shaken easily, that you can handle your own storms, it makes her feel safe. It allows her to open, and more importantly, it earns her respect. Because women aren't attracted to chaos. They're attracted to calm, to clarity, to grounded presence. And that comes from learning to sit with discomfort without running from it or reacting to it. Subscribe and hit the bell, because what's coming next will shift how you carry yourself from the inside out. The third desire is leadership, and not the kind where you bark orders or try to control her decisions. Real leadership is subtle. It's quiet influence. You lead by taking initiative, by choosing a direction, by having a plan. You don't wait for her to decide where things go. You guide the flow, whether it's a conversation, a date, or the relationship itself. Leadership is not about dominance. It's about direction. Women don't want to lead. They want to feel confident that you can. When you hesitate, she feels it. When you take the lead, she relaxes. Most men think being agreeable is attractive, but constantly deferring to her, where do you want to eat? What do you want to do? Actually kills polarity, because it places the emotional burden on her. Lead with confidence. Even if she resists, deep down she feels more drawn to a man with direction. The fourth hidden desire is mystery, not in a manipulative way, but in a grounded, detached way. Mystery means you don't overshare. You don't explain everything. You don't need her to constantly know what you're thinking or feeling. When everything is revealed too quickly, attraction fades. Women don't fall for men they fully understand. They fall for men they're still trying to figure out. The unknown creates tension. It activates curiosity, and curiosity drives connection. Mystery doesn't mean playing games. It means holding something back. Not because you're hiding, but because you're whole. Your attention is earned. Your story is layered. Your energy isn't always available on demand. A mysterious man doesn't try to impress. He lets her discover him, slowly, on his terms, at his pace. That slow reveal makes her chase depth, and that chase keeps her invested. The fifth unspoken desire is presence. This isn't just about being physically there. It's about being fully there. Most men are half in, half aware, half engaged, and women feel that. True presence is rare. It means your phone is away, your thoughts are quiet, your attention is locked in. You're not waiting to speak, you're actually listening. You're not analyzing, you're observing. That kind of presence is magnetic. It makes her feel seen, not in a superficial, I'm paying attention because I want something kind of way, but in a still grounded, I'm here because I want to understand way. Presence signals power, because only powerful men can slow down. Everyone else is too distracted, too reactive, too scattered. If you want her to remember you, don't say more. Be more present. Let's go deeper, because presence without direction doesn't last. The sixth hidden craving is decisiveness. This shows up in the smallest ways. You don't hesitate, you don't ask twice, you don't need 10 opinions before moving. When you're decisive, you signal confidence. You know who you are. You trust your choices, and that trust becomes contagious. She feels safer, more relaxed, more drawn to you. Not because you control her, but because you control yourself. A woman can admire your personality, but she falls for your certainty, that quiet knowing that I've got this energy that needs no explanation. Decisiveness removes doubt, and doubt is what makes her pull away. Make a decision, own it, adjust if needed, but don't freeze. Inaction is the fastest way to become forgettable. Let's explore the final trait, the one that wraps everything together. The final hidden desire is emotional dominance. Not control over her, but control over yourself, no matter what she brings. You don't flinch when she tests you. You don't spiral when she's cold. You don't overreact when she's distant. You stay centered. You lead through energy, not explanation. That energy creates safety, structure, and desire. Women test to feel your strength, not because they want to break you, but because they want to feel if you can hold tension. Most men fold. They chase. They explain. They apologize for being masculine. But emotional dominance means you hold your line. You don't match her chaos. You anchor it. You bring order into emotional waves. And that makes her lean in deeper, even when she doesn't understand why. Let's bring this all together. These hidden desires aren't random. They're primal, wired into biology, shaped by centuries of masculine and feminine dynamics. She may say she wants kindness, and she does. But without strength, that kindness feels weak. She may say she wants emotional openness, and she does. But without control, that openness feels needy. What she truly wants is a man she can feel, not just hear. Someone who makes her relax, not because he entertains her, but because he's stable. Someone she doesn't need to lead, because he's already leading himself. You don't need to be perfect. You need to be present, grounded, and consistent. That alone puts you in the top 1%. Now let's talk about how to apply this. Start by observing your patterns. Where do you overshare? Where do you hesitate? Where do you react too fast? Awareness is the first shift. Without it, you'll keep repeating. Next, practice space. Don't respond right away. Don't explain yourself constantly. Let silence grow. In that silence, mystery is born, and mystery holds power. Then, move with intent. Choose your words. Choose your actions. Don't overthink. Don't over-explain. Be clear. Be calm. Be certain. Even when uncertain, act like a man who decides. You don't need to change overnight. You need to shift one layer at a time. These traits aren't added, they're uncovered. Because who you're meant to be is already there. When you start living these traits, everything changes. Not just with women, but with the way the world responds to you. People notice, conversations shift, respect increases. You stop being someone who tries to be chosen and start being someone who naturally draws others in. You'll feel it in how women speak to you, how they look at you, how they test you less and respect you more. Not because you became someone else, but because you finally stopped hiding who you were meant to be. This isn't a script, it's a standard, a way of being. And the more you step into it, the less effort everything takes. Let's close it out. When you kill emotional dependency, you stop needing someone to complete you and start living as someone who's already full. You don't get attached easily. You connect intentionally. You don't react out of fear. You respond from presence. You don't lose yourself in others. You meet them from your center. That's not just how you regain your power. That's how you become it. What's one pattern or belief you're letting go of right now to take your power back from emotional dependency? Drop it in the comments. If this message hit home, don't miss Master Emotional Control Like a Stoic and how to make women respect you without chasing them. They'll reinforce the presence and clarity that make you unshakable in love, in life, in everything.